guys to the channel, back here with some Forza Motorsport on the PC. Now what you're going to be watching in the background today, we got some nice crispy gameplay going on with our Thrustmaster wheel cam. But today though, really isn't about the gameplay. What this is about
race wars.
Is the core game mechanics of Forza Motorsport. And the question I wanted to ask you guys, is Forza changing for the better? Before we start though, dad jokes on Twitter. Every single morning I get hit by the same bike. It's a vicious cycle, right? Huge thanks for coming around for today. Of course, don't forget to slap that like button. So is Forza changing for the better? Of course, I hope everybody has seen the recent news on Twitter. If you haven't, well, right, let's get up to speed on this. And it kind of caught me off guard, to be honest with you, because Forza was such an advocate for this new progression system moving into the new game, right? We had a whole new launch of the game. It came out as Forza Motorsport, not Forza Motorsport 8, which to this day, I still feel like it should have been Forza 8. I don't know if you guys share the same opinion on that. Let me know in the comment section down below. The progression system, it was tricky, and you know, ever since the dawn of time, Forza has gave us a huge selection of beautiful cars that, you know, not only can we race, but we can also tune and customize, you know, rims. We can also do body parts on there, let alone the spoilers have followed us for quite some time, right? The Forza Aero, it would have been nice to see some evolution, but at least they gave us those options over these years. And even at sometimes, we had the ability to remove bumpers, which we shouldn't really even be talking about. That was, right? So of course, fast forward today, our list just keeps growing and growing, which is where we get into our issue with the brand new Forza Motorsport. Obviously, this came out at what, on September, October, November, I think, or something like that? November, October? I forget the exact day. Months are just flying by, man. Does anyone else have that now? Just months are just blending in together? And of course, the new Forza Motorsport built from the ground up, that we had to build each and every car from the ground up, and that was really the biggest problem, right? Now, of course, first thought of it was going to be fun. I actually thought the idea was going to be cool, the fact that we had to build and, you know, spend time with our vehicle to actually really make it that machine that we wanted to. However, the time just took way too long, at least for my builds it felt like, especially at the very start of the game, when you have to use specific vehicles in order to race your races, when you want to just really do other vehicles and make those instead, right? So would make it so that way the only real fast way to level up a car was to make all the assists go to the AI bot driving, and then your car would just be looping around for hours and hours, and right, just to drop in a new engine and turbo. So it was a very underwhelming experience to build a car up, especially when everybody was just grinding that way. It didn't feel right. Of course, not everybody did this, I assume, and of course, many people enjoyed the new system that Forza decided to go with. But I feel like many others, including myself, I just wasn't enjoying the process, right? Cars became a chore, time-consuming, which is something you never want to have happen in a game. You never want to say, oh wow, right, I spent so much time doing this, and it really wasn't worth what I wanted it to do. And that's kind of what I felt like Forza was becoming, right? I would be doing these laps endlessly, just for a couple levels, and it was getting to the point where if you didn't leave your console on overnight or as you went out for a couple hours, it wasn't even a matter of worth doing, right? So it just kind of faded out, and that's why I haven't really played a lot of Forza Motorsport recently. It was because of that factor. And, you know, I'm a little bit lazy in that aspect, but I got other games that I'm playing as well too. Of course, Turn 10 was aware of everything that was going on, and they decided to kind of battle this. So they chopped the progression system in half, I think, of what they did, or brought it down to 40 or 30 or 25. And right, of course that helped. That was great, but it still felt like a chore. People were still doing the exact same thing, otherwise, right, it would take less time. So it was a very interesting battle that I feel like Turn 10 was fighting. It was a never-ending battle for them. And of course it helped, only for a bit, I feel like. I just wasn't looking forward to getting on to level up cars that I've used in past games for many years, right? It would have been cool maybe if you've had the car in your garage on past Forzas, maybe you got a pass to do so on this one, and you already had it upgraded or halfway upgraded, or something to keep us engaged in that fight, right? It was a battle to get these cars leveled up sometimes, at least I felt like, right? So fast forward to today's statement on Twitter, Forza Motorsport put out, and it was an interesting one. They decided to backtrack on the entire operation, and they posted this here. Some important changes are coming to car progression in Forza Motorsport Update 6. All car parts for every car will be unlocked at car level 1. They just took it all out. They said, we're done. That's it. It's no longer going to be a thing anymore, which is interesting, especially for the people that put all that time into their stuff, man. 2, car points will be acquirable using in-game credits. So they've actually spoke about how that's going to work a little bit. But the biggest issue, though, is the fact that they just decided to scrap the entire progression system. It's a very interesting thought, and of course, like I said, I'm sure they're just tired of battling this. They just don't want it anymore. They can't make everybody happy, so they're just going to go back to what it was back on previous Forza Motorsports. But again, though, there's other ways to really do this, I feel like. However, though, they did go into detail. M4 Competition Coupe, 125k maxed out. I don't know if these numbers match up to past Forzas. 21 Golf R, 89k maxed out. Some of the older cars look like it costs more money to upgrade them. But, right, I mean, I just don't know if it aligns with past ones or if they're making their own values for the new Forza Motorsport. But it should have been a move from the start of the game. But instead, though, right, this is the alternative that should have been done. Why couldn't we have just bought the points with in-game currency from the beginning? Or progressed your car and did it that way? It would have been so much easier for everybody. I know they didn't want to promote cheating and, you know, the auction house problems and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, though, look what we've had, right? This has been a traffic jam, is what this has been. So unfortunately now we are reverting back to the old playway of Forza Motorsport, and it's going to be interesting. But I really do feel like they should have made it where you can purchase it or drive the car to enjoy that progression system that has been put into the game. How many man hours went into that progression system? I feel like there have been so many people working on that. I feel like to just scrap it, it definitely leaves a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, I feel like, for all the people that were working on that and were behind it and were happy with a new progression system. But, right, I mean, at least, though, it could have been cool to see it unlock for $500 to $1 million at a cost. With your cash right off the bat, you would have had to unlock that option, maybe for $500 to $1 million per car, but it would have allowed you to continue to play the game. It would have gave you a reason to progress and try to earn that extra dollar. Even Black Panther said this on Twitter. He said, from too much to nothing. A middle ground exists. Right? And that's the most factual statement in the entire comment section. It really is. I don't understand why they decided to do that. Obviously, there are ways around this. But, I mean, we had another one here from Extension, and he goes, racing YouTubers, Forza Horizon 5 is too easy. Gives you everything. We want better progression. Turn 10, alright, we introduce a car level up system that will make you drive more cars. Racing YouTubers, no, we don't want to do races to level up. It's a never-ending cycle, unfortunately, and that is the way it goes with video games of today, right? There's so many people, there's so many different opinions on what works and what doesn't nowadays, and it's going to be interesting to see. Now, of course, Update 6 won't be until the end of March, maybe, middle of March. We really don't know, but it would have been cool to see them drop this with Update 5 with the Nordschleife package. That's all I'm saying. It would have been nice to bundle it up right now. Now we have to upgrade our cars for the Nordschleife, right? It's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm going to have to end up doing it anyways. Honestly, I love Forza and everything that they've worked for over the decades, but the game needs to go back on track, and I really hope that these next 2 updates are going to get us to where that this game deserves to be. The people playing it, the amount of traffic on it, the amount of people talking about it, it's a great game. And obviously, if you have an Xbox, right, a lot of people don't really have any other games to play that are like Forza Motorsport, especially if you're only on Xbox, right? There's only a handful of games that you can't play, or maybe you don't even play other games, right? I mean, sadly, I haven't been on it too much, but hopefully these updates will bring me back to the game. And I've seen friends online recently more playing as well, which would be really cool to get into some private drift lobbies and stuff like that, which we still don't have any drifting servers in the game, which would be really cool to see some drift hoppers come in for some, you know, right? Honestly, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this, for the whole progression system being taken away and now having everything unlocked once again. Now that I think about it, I might not have too many funds on Forza Motorsport, so I may have to go back and do a little bit of grinding. But we have until March. Once March hits, we're going to have that update drop for Season 6. We're going to hopefully get some more lobbies going. I'm going to start playing this on the PC a little bit more here too. So I'm very excited for the next few weeks of Forza Motorsport. Huge thank you for everybody coming around for today's spicy Forza Motorsport news. We don't usually get a lot of this stuff on here for Forza Motorsport, but the community's blown up about it, right? It's been fun today. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.